and there was no coherence with what the person who was streaming was showing. So you would be watching Arthur ploughing a field and somebody else is talking about planting sunflowers and harvesting their corn, and it's kind of disjointed. You've got 4 different farms in 4 different parts of the map, so it's kind of difficult to make it a coherent stream. Now, it ended up with Arthur doing I'll go and watch JC's farm for the first hour, and then I'll switch to Weidenbach's farm after that, and then next week I'll do the other 2 farms. So he's trying to make the stream at least show everything that's going on. But stop. One of these. Oilseed radish, grass. I could plant oilseed radish, but if I do that, it's going to delay the harvest. And I'd like to know how bad the harvest is going to be this year, or how complicated. So, yeah, now did Thomas get Farm Sim 19, or did he just give up on that as an idea? Okay, there we go with our grass planting. So again, we're using our old Lemkin seeder that we used in Lawfolds, because the horse seeders were problematic, shall we call them. Okay, so we're done with that. I missed the gear shift. Must be the manual gearbox. We'll take this down to the store and go shopping, I think, because we haven't done that yet. We have money spare. Now, I am considering buying some more fields, but I have to figure out which ones I want. Oh, that was bad of me. Fortunately, nobody coming. Now, I haven't had time to watch Simone's streams for the last couple of weeks. Her first streams I found annoying. I have hearing problems anyway, and she had Discord chat turned out way too low, so all I could hear was her interjections. I couldn't hear the conversation, and so all of a sudden there'd be some laughing. I don't know what anybody was laughing about because I couldn't hear that side of the conversation. It was almost like sitting in a room with somebody on the phone, and you can hear their side of the conversation, but you can't hear the other side of the conversation, and that was kind of annoying. And just I ended up, I can't cope with this, so I stopped watching her stream at that point because it wasn't making sense to me. Now I understand she got the sound worked out a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't had time to go back and watch the stream yet, so I don't know what's going on that. How cooperative is it? Because I know she's got a lot of production facilities and stuff going on, which again means different people doing different things, and unless you're going around to see all of them, it's disjointed. It's as disjointed as most of our Farm Sim 19 playthroughs have been. Now, what was the one we did? Lone Oak, I think, was a better stream because we were all working towards the same thing. the other benefit we had with Farm Sim 17 was the stream only ran, the server only ran a couple of hours at most after the stream ended, and it was usually let's say we were harvesting all the corn for silage, and Arthur streams for 2 hours, and at the end of the stream it's sort of, well, we've got this little patch of corn that still needs to be done, we need to compact the bunkers, and we should probably, cultivate the field ready for planting. And so he'd say, okay, yeah, get that done, and then finish. He'd leave the server at that point because his stream was over, and the rest of us would finish up the jobs for the day. So the next week's stream, we're starting something completely different. We don't have any holdover from the previous week's stream. Now, there were times when Arthur would say, okay, good night, and he would shut down his PC, and at that point the stream shut down, and we're like, oh! But, yeah, them's the breaks. But the thing with... what the hell's that? Oh, that's the class athletes. Okay. I was going to go with this one, and we are going with that. I don't know where that happens, so I'll put it back to black. Rim color. That's a lot different from that colour that I used in no, not yellow. Not that colour. Metal, silver. Yeah, that colour. So, Trelleborg. Yes. Engine setup. Oh, this is only a 170. I want it around 200, I think. 190 do? And I'm not going with a front loader on this one. Puts the tractor at 156. That allows me to use, might go to 210. How much does it add? Ooh, that adds 11,000 to it. We'll stick with the 190 and hope it does what we need it to do. But that should allow me to use 150 horse equipment fairly easily. And I also want fertilizer spreaders, or sprayers. I'm going to take that. And we will also get a weight. And I'll put the variable weight on this one, if I can find it. There we go. 900. Yeah, black's good. Okay, so new tractor and some stuff. I do like this metallic silver. Wheels look okay. So let's get this lot all connected up. To a certain extent, yes. Although I did notice something rather amusing the other day. I think it was one of her streams. Arthur was doing... It sounded like a YouTube video. And I could hear him in the background better than I can hear him during a multiplayer stream where he's on Discord, which was really funny. Okay, press the button, load the herbicide. So the reason I go for this sprayer is because one herbicide tank is less than this sprayer tank capacity. So so when it comes to unload it, I left the Land Rover at the store, didn't I? Did I? I seem to recall myself driving here. Go back and get the Land Rover. But yeah, it depends how well she gets into a game as to how watchable some of her streams can be. There's a lot of times where she's not talking, but again, there's a lot of times where I'm not talking. And I'm trying to... I've cut back on the number of streams I do in order to try and rectify that and have something to talk about while I'm playing. There we go. But there's also, yeah, it's the type of games she plays. I don't... As I said, I think Hunter Call of the Wild, which is one of her popular games, could possibly work better as a YouTube stream, purely because it's there's a lot of walking around in trees not doing much, and driving through trees on the wrong side of the road. Yeah, there's all that. But you know, the actual shooting and hunting something can be a very small part of the game. Time spent. It's kind of like a lot of the space sims as well. Elite Dangerous and what's the other one? Star Citizen. Not that I've watched many Star Citizen streams, but you spend so much time getting to somewhere and so little time actually doing a thing. Unless you're doing something like mining, where you've taken time to position your ship in an area where the mining stuff is. You've docked in a space station there, and all you have to do is undock and fly out to the mining resource. But if you're just flying around doing stuff, exploring stuff, which is what my thing is in those types of games, you can quickly end up with what is in essence a very boring stream, because I'm just driving from point A to point B with no concrete aim as to what I'm trying to achieve. Okay, we're going to beat that car. I don't know whether the Land Rover will. Looks like the Land Rover made it too. And good morning, Bin Pin. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Now, with something like Train Sim World, you can work at making it interesting if you like. Oh, I don't think I've got enough weight on the front of this. Maybe I should up it to 1200. We'll go back to the yard before we take this out. Oh. Maybe I should have gone for the 210 horsepower tractor. Okay, jump out. We'll put the Land Rover away. Playing Star Citizen. There you go, puppy. Okay, back in this. Speak. Exit. Okay, that might make it a little bit more stable. And since we haven't planted anything yet, don't know what the oh, to be careful about leaving a worker on that planter. Hopefully it turned left. It's planting the number 3 field with grass. And isn't... oh no. Please don't be on the other side. That doesn't look good, actually. Oh, he got himself wrapped round a tree, which is fortunate. Because the way he turned, it looks like he was considering heading over there, and that would be very bad for us. Okay. Engine on. Lower the head. Drive forwards. Okay. What's going on? Or not going on? There we go. For some reason, planting didn't work. Okay, not too worried about how this actually seeds since it's grass. And all we're really interested in is having grass at the end of the day. And not rows of stuff. But since this is now seeded, we shouldn't have issues with planting the next field over and it overseeding. So again, this is not a drill, it's a planter. So you have to cultivate or plough the ground before you can plant anything. I could load a fence mod and split these two fields up with a fence rather than rely on those hedges. I could plant some trees along that hedgerow, which would then prevent tractor incursions between the two fields. I'll probably look into that, because the fact that we're just driving from one field to the next one without respecting the field boundaries is a problem. It's a problem that happened on the Marwell Manor map too, between those two big fields you start with. And I mean, I could plant the headland first, but that's not really the way you're supposed to do it. So Binpin, have you been collecting all your daily rewards in warships? Or did you skip out on some? I know I missed the #1 reward on Christmas daily reward thing, because I didn't realise it was happening until I think there were 9 days to go and 10 rewards to collect. I thought, oh, missed one. And the last one's usually a free 24-hour or 2 collection crates. A couple of days this week, all I've done is log into the game and log straight out again. Okay, that's all done. So I should now be able to set this off back on a worker, and hopefully it should do the entire field now. And off he goes. Good. I'll skip between tractors, so you're still doing your thing, you're ready to go and spray some stuff. I should probably get this moving before we crack the boom against the spreader. Now this tractor is totally inadequate to haul that spreader, I'm pretty certain of it. I also have plans to buy a sprayer for fertilisation, one of the self-propelled ones, later. Not sure whether I'm going to spend money on the horse, since I've had problems with both of the cedars, yes. Okay. And I do intend for this tractor to be one of my carting tractors come fall, or one of the two I'm planning on. We may end up with more than two, but for now I think the plans are, for now, just two heavy tractors. I've got one medium, one small. We will need a second medium one come harvest, and we'll need, don't think I'm going to need any more small tractors for right now. Oh, there goes the Spitfire flight. And I'm thinking come fall I will probably also need another heavy tractor as well. I think that's all of the spraying that field needed. Yeah, see, some of these got oversprayed between cultivating and spreading, so never mind. Weeds, let's turn that off, and that off. I am not seeing any more weeds anywhere on our farm, so good. That field has some. Now, so these all grass fields. Let's take the Valtra back to home and figure that out. So I will keep that tank loaded with herbicide so we can come out again later in the year. Although if we do have to come out later in the year, I may need to change the tyres on this tractor. I think at the moment this is the only tractor I have which is capable of mounting narrows. And once the crops start growing, we're going to have to take that into account. But for right now, good. I think I will put this on the east side of the farm, because it's not particularly big. We can store it in this shed back here. There. Okay. I think we'll take the weight off too. Where should I put that? Where shall I keep my weights? I think maybe over here. I had weight like that on lower folds as well, and it can come in quite useful if you're mounting different equipment on the back of your tractor, or even using different tractors. may end up with a few more of them before we get settled. Okay, spreader's there. Spreader, I still need to do field 1. Oh, he's nearly done. That's nice. Seems to be doing a good job of it too. Oh, gate's closed. I can't wait for the grass to start